Late last week, CLIA held their virtual cruise forum where we got the strongest indication yet about an Australian cruising restart. Today we'll look at exactly what was discussed and more. I'm Adrian, the Cruise and Travel Guy. As always, thanks for subscribing to my channel, and if you haven't done so yet, please hit that subscribe button. Unsurprisingly, headline news this week came out of CLIA's virtual cruise forum. The annual event, normally held in the flesh, was transferred online this year, but the content was no less impressive. Industry leaders representing, among others, Royal Caribbean, P&O Australia, Norwegian Cruise Line and Ponant discussed all things cruising. Sture Myrmell, president of both P&O Australia and Carnival Australia, made the announcement that all passengers joining a P&O Australia ship will need to be fully vaccinated. As far as I know, this is one of the first major commitments by a local cruise line to a post-COVID cruising policy. Furthermore, when asked in relation to the vaccination status of children, Myrmell said, "Our policy will be consistent with the government's approach to vaccination for children. We will see how that unfolds. If your child is eligible for vaccination, they will need to be fully vaccinated to travel." It was only last week that ATAGI released its official advice that children over the age of 12 should be vaccinated, so one could assume then that P&O Australia's policy will fall into line with that advice. Gavin Smith, VP and Managing Director of Royal Caribbean Australia, said that during the pandemic, cruise lines and CLIA have done their best to foster great relationships with the Australian government agencies. Smith believes that these relationships, when considered in tandem with Australia's growing rate of vaccination, will allow for cruising to recommence this summer. In his words, "The tide is turning." Smith explained that even over the past fortnight, the Australian government's commitment to the four-phase roadmap has given Royal Caribbean confidence that they will be back in Australian waters either this December or January. From my own perspective, I'm pleased that at least in New South Wales, the public focus has shifted to the rate of vaccination. Coupled with Royal Caribbean's New South Wales exclusive itineraries in December and January, I'm feeling the most optimistic that I ever have since the beginning of this pandemic. Just yesterday, however, the Office of the Australian Department of Health announced the extension of its biosecurity emergency period. In June this year, the measures were extended until September 17th, but as of yesterday, they have once again been extended through to December 17th. The extension relates to the four existing determinations, which are mandatory pre-departure testing and mask wearing for international flights, restrictions on outbound international travel for Australians, restrictions on the entry of cruise vessels within Australian territory, and restrictions on trade of retail outlets at international airports. Royal Caribbean is the only local line to have scheduled cruises before this date, with their first being on December 13th and their second on December 17th. As yet, the cruise line hasn't announced any further cancellations. P&O, Carnival and Princess have their first scheduled cruises for December occurring on the 18th, 19th and 20th of December respectively. The biosecurity measures can be amended or repealed at any time. The suspension isn't surprising, although CLIA was hoping that the measures would be reviewed monthly. Cruise lines will need about 2 months to prepare their ships for service down under, which brings us to around the middle of October that they would need to know whether it's a go or not. I'm sure it's a long shot, but my optimism won't waver. I'm buoyed by estimates that New South Wales will reach its 80% vaccination target in November, with Victoria not far behind. With vaccination rates of 80% being among the highest in the world, higher even than the UK and US, where cruising has been occurring for months. With this knowledge, it will be only more difficult for the government to continue to place a ban on cruising in this country beyond December. As always though, I will keep you up to date with any developments. In Trieste, Italy, the Pacific adventure continues to come to life. Golden Princess has officially been retired, with the ship's new name embossed onto her stern. P&O Australia released a few extra images for us thirsty cruisers, highlighting some of the updates taking place across the ship. A source also sent me this footage of the Golden Princess, some of the last ever taken of the ship bearing that name. Likely filmed from Holland America's Rotterdam, the ship is seen entering dry dock where she is finally becoming P&O Australia's flagship. Well, that's about it for this week's cruise news update. There was a lot to digest for Australian cruise news this week. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, please do. And if you are looking to book a cruise for 2022 and beyond, head to my website, thecruiseandtravelguide.com.au, and you can also follow me on Facebook and Instagram at The Cruise and Travel Guide. Thanks for watching, stay safe, and I will see you soon. Cruise lines and CLIA have both done their nope. The Australian government's commitment to the 4-phase national roadmap out of the COVID nope were extended until September 17th, and as of yesterday, there appears to be a bark-off outside. I'm buoyed by estimates that New South Wales will reach its 80% target. Nope. I'm buoyed by nope. I'm buoyed by nope. I'm buoyed by estimates that New South Wales will reach its 80% target. Nope.